Welcome, friend. This is a story for sleep, a slow, gentle telling of an old tale about a little mole, a kind water rat, and a lazy river on the first warm day of spring. There is nothing to follow here, nothing to remember. If you drift away in the middle, that is exactly as it should be. So let your shoulders soften, let your breath slow down, and come with me down to the riverbank. The story begins underground, in a small, dark, tidy house beneath a meadow, where a mole had been spring cleaning all morning long. He had swept with brooms and dusted with dusters and climbed little ladders to whitewash the walls until his arms were tired and his back ached and there was dust in his soft black fur. And all the while, far above his head, spring was moving through the earth, warm and patient, calling to him through the darkness in a voice older than words. And so the mole set down his brush and he listened. Something up above was calling him. He made his way up the steep little tunnel, scraping and scratching, scrabbling and scrooging, his small paws working busily in the dark, up and up and up, until pop, his snout came out into the sunlight, and he found himself rolling in the warm grass of a great meadow. Oh, the sunshine was warm on his fur, soft breezes stroked his brow. Birds were singing somewhere far away, their songs drifting down like leaves onto still water. The mole lay in the grass a moment longer, feeling the great slow breath of spring move through everything, through the hedgerows, through the budding flowers, through the deep, patient earth, and through him too. This is fine, he thought to himself. This is better than whitewashing, and he wandered on, without hurry, without any particular place to go, across the meadow, along the hedgerows, through the copses, where birds were building their nests and flowers were opening their petals one by one, and everything was busy and content, the way the world is on the first true day of spring. The mole rambled here and there, feeling how very pleasant it was to be idle among so many gently busy things. He meandered along in this way for some time, aimless and happy, until quite suddenly, he stood by the edge of a full-fed river. Never in his whole life had he seen a river before. It lay before him like a sleek, sinuous animal, chasing and chuckling, gripping things with a gurgle and letting them go again with a laugh, all a shake and a shiver, glints and gleams and sparkles, rustle and swirl, chatter and bubble. The mole stood entranced beside it, and the river went on, telling its slow stories, a babbling procession of the best stories in the world, sent up from the heart of the earth to be carried down, at last, to the sea. When he was tired of walking, the mole sat down on the bank. The grass was warm beneath him. The river murmured on, and his eyelids grew pleasantly heavy as he watched the water slide by. And as he sat there, he noticed a dark hole in the bank opposite, just above the water's edge. What a snug home that would make, he thought dreamily, for some animal with few wants, fond of a little riverside house, far from noise, far from dust. And as he gazed, something small and bright twinkled down in the heart of the hole, like a tiny star. Then it winked, and slowly, gradually, a small face grew up around it, the way a frame gathers around a picture. A brown little face with whiskers, a grave, round face with a twinkle in its eye, small, neat ear, and thick, silky hair. It was the water rat. The two animals looked at one another for a little while, in the unhurried way of creatures who have all the time in the world. "Hello, mole," said the water rat. "Hello, rat," said the mole. "Would you like to come over?" asked the rat gently. And before the mole could quite work out how such a thing might be managed, the rat stooped, unfastened a rope, and stepped lightly down into a little boat that the mole had not noticed before. It was painted blue outside and white within, and it was just the size for two animals. The mole loved it at once, with his whole heart. The rat sculled quietly across the river, the oars dipping and lifting and dipping again, leaving little rings upon the water that widened and softened and faded away. He held out a paw, and the mole stepped carefully down and found himself, to his wonder, seated in the stern of a real boat. "Do you know," said the mole, as the rat pushed off from the bank, "I've never been in a boat before, not once, in all my life." "Never been in a boat?" said the rat softly, leaning to his oars. "My dear fellow, believe me, there is nothing, absolutely nothing, half so much worth doing as simply messing about in boats." And he said it again, slower this time, dreamily, as the boat slid along. Simply messing about in boats. Messing about. The boat drifted on. It did not matter where they were going. That, said the rat, was the charm of it. Whether you get where you meant to go, or somewhere else entirely, or nowhere at all, none of it matters on the river. There is always the water beneath you, and the sky above you, and the long, slow afternoon ahead. "If you've really nothing else to do today," said the rat, "supposing we drop down the river together and make a long day of it." The mole wriggled his toes for sheer happiness, spread his chest with a great contented sigh, and leaned back into the soft cushions. "What a day I'm having," he said. "Let us start at once." So the rat fetched a fat wicker luncheon basket from his hole in the bank and stowed it under the mole's feet and took up the oars again, and the little blue and white boat slipped out into the stream. And now the river carried them, slowly, gently, the way a good river does. Sunlight lay warm across the water. The banks slid past without any hurry at all, willows leaning down to trail their long, green fingers in the current, reeds whispering to one another in the shallows, and everywhere the soft, sleepy sounds of a spring afternoon, the ripple under the bow, the dip of the oars, the far-off murmur of a bird, and beneath it all, the low, endless conversation of the water itself. The mole trailed one paw on the river and let his thoughts loosen and drift, absorbed in the sparkle, the ripple, the scents and the sounds and the sunlight, dreaming long, waking dreams, while the good water rat sculled steadily on and did not disturb him. After a while, the mole stirred and pulled himself together and said a little shyly, "So, this is a river." "The river," corrected the rat kindly. "And you really live by the river? What a jolly life. By it, and with it, and on it, and in it," said the rat. "It's brother and sister to me, and aunts and company, and food and drink. It's my world, and I don't want any other. What it hasn't got is not worth having, and what it doesn't know is not worth knowing." And he told the mole, in his slow and easy way, about the river through the seasons, about the floods of February, when the brown water rises and runs past his bedroom window, and about the late summer, when the water drops away and shows patches of mud that smell like plum cake, and the rushes grow thick and soft, and there are quiet channels to potter along, and all the small treasures the river leaves behind for those who take the time to look. The afternoon wore on, warm and golden. In time, they found a quiet backwater where the boat could rest, and they spread out the luncheon on the grassy bank and ate slowly and talked of nothing much and watched the light move on the water. And when the last of it was packed away again, the mole settled himself among the cushions once more, and the rat took them home at an easy pace, the oars dipping and lifting, the water sighing along the sides of the boat. The sun was low now. The light on the river had turned soft and rosy, and the willows stood in deep green shadow. And here and there a fish rose with a small secret sound, leaving a ring of silver that drifted wide and slowly disappeared. A late bird sang somewhere in the dusk, one slow phrase, and then was quiet. The mole lay back, deep in the cushions, pleasantly tired, full of sunshine and river air. And the day drifted through his mind in slow pictures: the warm meadow, the shining water, the little blue boat, the kind face of his new friend. And the rat said softly as the boat slipped homeward through the fading light, "Stay with me, if you like, for a little while. The river will still be here tomorrow. It always is, and there is no need at all, to hurry anything." The boat touched the bank, gentle as a falling leaf, and the mole understood, in his sleepy, contented way, that this was only the first of many days like this one, days of sunlight and slow water, of friendship and rest, stretching out ahead of him like the river itself, unhurried and shining, and without any end that he could see. The evening deepened over the river. The water went on murmuring its old stories to the reeds, stories that have no ending, only a slow drifting onward, like this one. So let the river carry you now, the way it carried the little boat, slowly, softly, downstream through the warm dark. There is nothing more you need to do tonight, nothing more you need to think about. The meadow is quiet, the boat is tied, the river flows on in the dark, all by itself, as it has always done and always will. Sleep now, sleep.